First
Ah,
team manager.
I'm here with Jack Neely. How you doing, Jack?
Not bad. How are you, Charlie?
Good. Just doing this little sort of catch-up thing we're going to do every now and then, talk about what's going on. I know you're quite busy yourself at the minute, Jack, with Long Eaton. You're back with Long Eaton. You're wearing your tracksuit there. You're kitted out. The man in Sen. You told your
Loves
goalkeeper coaches now. Talk me through all that at Long Eaton. The welcoming you've had.
Oh, obviously, on the last podcast, I'd not been to sort of Long Eaton and met anyone, but things changed, and obviously with the guidelines, we were able to start pre-season again, which was good. I think I went down about 2-3 Sundays ago. Met them all for the first time, and it was, brilliant. Can't speak highly enough of them all. Everything. What they want to do at the club is unbelievable. I think on Saturday on Graham's podcast, the sort of show, John and Jake are on there. Obviously, John's the first team manager, Jake's the head coach. That they'll sort of talk about what they're expecting from this season. But yeah, all the girls are brilliant. They obviously welcomed me with open arms. Sort of been able to get involved with training quite a bit, which has done my legs a bit of damage. But it's good keeping fit doing that. And like you touched upon goalkeeping coach, I know he brought in Malcolm as the head goalkeeping coach. Malcolm's brilliant. He's a great individual. He sort of knows how to get the best out of goalkeepers and stuff. But I think he just struggles with like crossing and kicking far. So that's where he says I can step in and help. So I'll do my best with that. And obviously Mill will be a good keeper this season. She's already brilliant, but we'll obviously take it to the next level. So,
what's your conversations with the players been like? Because obviously, when me and you, we'll be honest in this podcast, when me and you first joined Chelsea Women, obviously it was a bit wary of us as such, if you could say that. They wasn't very keen on the media side of things. There's a few good people that was like interested in stuff and interviews and stuff like that. What's the players been like at Long Eaton, like warming to you and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, when I first joined, a couple of players were direct messaging me saying they're buzzing to have someone do the media, because it was sort of the same situation as Chesterfield. It was players who did it before. And obviously I just said to them, look, you deserve everything you're going to be getting in terms of like media output, fans, players coming in and stuff. So I said to them I sort of wanted them to kind of get the recognition they all deserve. And they shone to that. But in person, banter started from day one, really. They somehow found I was a Chesterfield fan, so that sort of was played on me for quite a bit. Lauren De Casto, in the semi-final, I actually, when they played Chesterfield, I actually spelt her name wrong, so on the tweet. So she's given me that like every single training session. But like I said, first, they're letting me like join in with, passing drills, shooting drills and stuff. So sort of if I make a mistake there, then that sticks here for the rest of the training session. But they're all brilliant. I love it. I'll come home on the first Sunday and I was buzzing. Made my mum come to tears. How like brilliant I spoke in the club. It's just brilliant to be a part of something like that. And
that's good to hear, man, because I know, like I say, we're being honest on it. I know with Chesterfield Women, towards then, things were a bit stale, weren't they? Let's be honest. Things were a bit stale. When I was there as well, with me and you, things were very stale between things, and there was quite a few disagreements and such. And I know you've been given free reign as such with the media, and that's been a big selling point for you as well, and big happiness point as well, where you've been given he's trusted you with the media, and he knows what you're all about, do you know what I mean? And you feel like confident about that?
Yeah, 100%. I was just going to touch on, like, I think you'll all admit that with Chesterfield Women, it was sort of, the players took to, I don't want to sound like a dick, but they sort of took to me more than they did to you, sort of thing. Yeah. I know you were quite conserved and shy, whereas I was quite out there and I could make conversation, sort of thing. But yeah, like I said, that was the main reason that drove us away, because obviously we didn't get interviews. I know at the time we weren't particularly good at like graphics design and obviously making and stuff, but it was sort of that time I remember when I came to you and I'd gone on Photoshop and I'd made them like goal things and substitutions, and you were like, "That's a sick idea," but you know, it lasted more than a day, and then obviously one of the players come in and she did all the graphics and stuff. But you know, being able to do everything like that at Long Eaton, it's just it's great because no one's stepping on your toes, and even if someone does, they talk to you first about it. You know, I've got no sort of you know, bad word on if. So there's a guy who's a massive women's fan called Adam Reaper. He does a lot of articles and he does graphics and that, and he did a couple of Q&A with our players. But
well, you didn't
you know, he asked me first, and obviously that I've got no problem with that. He can get one of our players after the game. You know, I'm more than happy to put it out on our YouTube and social media and stuff. I've got no problem in getting help and stuff, but it is great to have to do everything, and yeah.
I mean, obviously that Adam guy, you done a Q&A with him, ain't you? You did a Q&A with Adam guy, didn't you?
Yeah.
I actually read a little bit of it. I actually spoke about starting from the bottom again, because that was a big thing with women, where we started from the bottom in terms of engagement wise, and that's similar. They're not really had a media guy prolific as you, or the commitment wise that you've put into it, where they've had nobody doing it. So it's same with women, that Chesterfield ladies, that nobody did media before that. So we started from the bottom, and I think when we started it was like 500 followers, and me and you got it to a good, I think, what are they at now, 1,000 and something. So we can have a look now, but we built that massively. And you spoke about something, you've got a history of doing something that before, I think. So is that exciting?
Yeah, 1,500 followers.
Wow, that's very good. So we've built it over 1,000 followers. That's really good. So you spoke about you've done this before, where you've built the engagement and stuff. Is that exciting, where you're getting that challenge again, where I'm getting a fan base up like we did at Chester Women?
Oh, 100%. You know, it's weird to talk like sort of how we're going to talk and how I spoke to John, because it's like, you know, we're multi-million-pound signings for a Premier League club, but to sort of be able to, you know, whatever they're on now, I know Long Eaton over 1,000 anyway, because they are a much bigger club. But it's just great, because if you're putting articles out and interviews and you're getting people following you just because of that, you know, that's we'll know it's brilliant feeling for us, and especially sort of at Chesterfield when they had that FA Cup game. All right, it was against Burton, you know, a bigger team, and they were the underdogs, but I've got to say, probably about 75% of them fans there came because the media was out there and they knew how to get into the
promoting that all week, yeah.
And you know, that was down to us, and I know it's, you know, we don't like to blow our own trumpet, but at times we have to. You know, we got them fans in. You know, we got them. You know, fans every week, the fans who supported him because of that. And you know, there were some fans that were even overseas who would message on Twitter saying supporting from wherever it were. And obviously that was down to social media. And John made a very good point. He said, because he asked if we could get stuff in the newspaper, and I said, well, I will try that. But then the attacking coach Rich said, you know, even if we can't, things out there is primarily social media based these days, which is true. You know, match reports will be out there after games, and you know, there might be there's a Midlands women's soccer page. They just retweet that. So if it comes to that, then it comes to that. It's stuff for the players to be out there, and it's, you know, it's not just a full-time result of Long Eaton beat whoever 1-0 and nothing, no interviews, nothing. It's just everything out there for the players, and you know, they deserve it. So
100%. And I was just touching on this week with a meeting I had this week with an opportunity that's come about that I can't talk about yet. But I mean, I had this week with personnel at the club, where we was talking about, it's not just me and you at first, when we first joined us, we thought it'd just be on a Sunday and we leave it like that. It's not just a Sunday job, is it? It's a week. It's throughout the week. You're marketing the club. You're keeping the club up to date. And I see you're posting stuff every day with content in regards to Long Eaton and just keeping the page active. So how important do you think that is in regards to just keeping a social media active on a Facebook or being Twitter in regards to content being published every day?
Yeah, well, it was sort of like at Chesterfield Women, the only content that I'd go out would be sort of the promotion of a week, I think it must have been a Tuesday, Thursday, and obviously a Sunday. It'd be match day this weekend sort of thing. And then the only interviews we'd do would be after the game, which would go out on a Sunday.
Yeah.
For me, I didn't think that was enough. But obviously at the time, I think we didn't really realise that wasn't enough. And I think, at the time we was getting I don't know what the word for. We were getting praise for what we was doing already, so I think that just kind of went over our head. But Long Eaton sort of said to John, "Look, we have a weekly plan with him. I tell him what I'm going to put out, and it's like when stuff goes a bit stale on the Twitter, I've got a plan on what to put out. So that's why them fact files are going out on the players. That's just a little thing. It's just a little thing, fans might already know the players, but they might not know little fans or who they play against. Like Mill, I didn't know she played in Germany. I knew she was German, but I didn't know she'd come from Germany, played at them clubs, sort of things. So it's just a little bit of content like that. And I know at this time it is difficult to do interviews because John and the club are very strict on the regulations, obviously, for COVID. So, we tried to sort of not do interviews where we can, but I think it was important when we first came back for pre-season, we did do an interview because it's easier to do an interview to that extent. So it was like a 6-minute interview, and it was obviously a landmark because first time in pre-season back for the players, it was just good for them. So
and I mean, me and you have spoke about that new opportunity you've got at Long Eaton and the manager and stuff. And I think one issue, not to just drop it on Michael or the players, or just no offence or pun intended here, but obviously when we would lose at Chesterfield Women, there wasn't really an opportunity for an interview post-match or reaction, if you know what I mean. In fairness, I did say that, but then I look back and we did have a one interview with Mark New when we lost to Stockport 5-0. Yeah, that one I remember. And apart from that, I can't think. They didn't lose very many times, but when they did lose or they did have a bad performance, the onus on interview was very limited because they didn't want to do an interview. But I know you said at Long Eaton that he's willing to do interviews, win or lose, and that's obviously it's always good to do an interview when you're winning, isn't it? But I think it's a different type of interview when you lose because you've got to ask those difficult questions. I remember at Stockport, me and you grilled him. We grilled Mike about why he changed up the formation and stuff. I think it's important to have those sort of interviews as well. Do you know what I mean? That's why it's good for you at Long Eaton.
And I think like for us being young as well, it's an experience for us to sort of go out of our comfort zone, sort of thing. If we can master difficult interviews at a young age, then we're obviously destined for greatness, sort of thing. And I've got a feeling, John said he'll do interview when they lose, and I think when John does lose, touch wood, you don't many times, but if you do, I've got a feeling I'll be in a difficult position and it'll test my skills, which I'm obviously open to. But obviously, like you said at Chesterfield, that's not something we sort of, we were accomplished. And that was because they didn't lose many times, and maybe it was just Mike didn't like doing interviews. But you've got to take the rough with the smooth, and you've got to do interviews no matter what. If you lose 8-0 on a Tuesday night, the longest travelling games in Wales, you've got to do that interview. You can't shy away from not doing it. And obviously we're going to do it.
So obviously you left Chesterfield Women in January, right? So obviously since then there's not been much media coverage. Obviously John was doing interviews when you left as well. We were taking off them in I know I left in college, so just before college, I would say about August I left, and we was taking off him at that point, and you wasn't really put back on him at any point, really, was you? And you interviewed John a couple of times. That's John. It's not actually a personnel. So obviously that was a big hit. But what do you think's going on with the Chesterfield Women now in regards to like media and stuff? Because obviously John did interviews, but he couldn't really do anything else.
Yeah, that's something. I don't want to say I look at him quite a bit. I look at him on the odd occasion, but that's something I'm not really seen from the club, and there's not been really much tweets. I know they did the end of season reviews, but that was put out by Leone and the players. So whether or not they haven't brought anyone into the media, I don't know. And because I know there's just been a couple of names shouted around that are doing it. Like I know,
me and you mentioned Ollie Bacon at some point because of those Times interviews. We wasn't sure
yeah.
about that one.
So there was someone doing the Derbyshire Time interview for the new coach that came, and then I know someone commented it's a great appointment for us at this level, and that's someone we know, a journalist in the area. So, so honestly, I don't know. I don't know. What's happening, but you hit the nail on the head when you said about interviews. That was sort of our main.
That's a bit,
thing
yeah.
to do. And I think at the time it was more difficult for me to leave because the relationships they had with some of the players.
Yeah.
And I think at the time you was working quite a bit, and I think you sort of and you didn't feel the same way as you did when we first started. It weren't a Sunday you'd wait. Like, I think that's what I said to you. We used to wake up on a Sunday excited for it, but I think it got to the point where we'd wake up on a Sunday and we'd think, "Oh, bloody hell, we've got to do them." And I think at that point, that's when you know to cut it. And I think when you left, obviously, I know there was talks that you wanted me to come with you, but I think when we actually sat down and spoke, you knew I was enjoyed it. And I think when that played on my mind a bit throughout the time I was there, it was only the right decision. We came in together and we'd leave together, so that's obviously why.
Yeah.
I leave in the end.
Yeah, I get that. And also, you're right in regards to that. We did wake up at the start. It was a new experience. And obviously, we've talked about this, still always been told a million times, that you always wanted to be a carer and then you fell into the journalism world with the lady. But obviously, we used to wake up excited for what we did. And then I think, not to no disrespect to John, but when John came in and we were slowly being taken off things that we was doing a good job of. It's not like we was doing a terrible job of the women's football or the interviews, anything like that. We was doing a great job. And I just felt like just because they had the equipment, they're giving the interviews, and that felt a little bit disrespected in that regards. And I just felt like watched eyes were over us every time we posted on something now. Burning eyes were on us. So I you're right, I took a back step and worked a lot more. And I'll be honest, I didn't really have many relationships with any of the players anyway, really. But I wasn't that. I spoke to them, obviously, but obviously you was a lot closer with a lot of them. You still keep in contact with a lot of them now. Whereas I don't. Obviously, I'm not a sociable person in regards to new people. It takes me a while to warm to someone. So in regards to that, I get what you stayed. Obviously, at first, I was a bit disappointed that you didn't come with me. But we already went, like you said, we had a chat and we discussed it. And it's right. You had relationships with the players. It wasn't a thing where you could ease. I found it easy to leave. It was an opportunity. I didn't want to leave. Yeah. I found it easy to leave because obviously I had no relationships really with anybody there. Obviously, I like Joanne and Gemma was nice. I like Gemma. She was nice. Gina was nice. It was nice, but I never had a relationship with any of them really in regards to that. So I get it. But yeah, like you said, things are on the up. I'm happy to get back into women's football. Obviously, things will be announced as that in the future, in the next week or so. But I'm happy to be back into it. I know you've not really left it as such, have you? I've been out of practice for it. So in regards to that, what advice you give me getting back into it? Because obviously I've been out of it for a good 8 months.
Well, I think that'll be an announcement that you'll make in the next couple of weeks. All I'll say is me and Charlie will be crossing paths in the near future in the women's football game. So people make of that what you will. So we'll see what happens. But advice for you, I think when like yourself, you set up your Spire Media and stuff. So I think for you it'll be natural in terms of your interviewing skills, your match reporting and stuff. But I think my main advice to you would be try and get a relationship with the players and try and get in there from the first training session. I wouldn't say go out there and try and be funny and just be polite with the players. Maybe this is what I did when I first came in. I some of the new signings John brought in, I messaged them first saying, welcome to Longyear. Now I'm a new person here, etc. Would you like to do an interview? And then I interviewed a couple of the players. We took about 5-10 minutes after the interview just to sort of speak, and from there it sort of made it less awkward when I came into the club. And obviously you get the players who you get the hello, how are you sort of thing. There's some players who keep themselves to themselves, which I respect. You're going to get that everywhere, but then you got the players who, like your Lauren, who butchers me for being a Chesterfield fan or spelling the name wrong, and that's what you need. For me, I love that, because then you're accepted in the club, and I know even the nice little comments you get, like thank you for doing it, and stuff like that. It's just nice to hear. So obviously, just try and get good relationships with the players, and you'll be raring and set to go.
Definitely, and it's been an interesting one the last couple of weeks. I've had a couple of shit come my way, and I've been surprised, to be honest with you, because I'll be honest, I fell out of love with football I've been fell out of love with it for a while now. Like I go to Chesterfield games and stuff, but I just fell out with love of it. I don't like how the game's going, and that was a common topic on the radio show today as well. I just don't like how it's changing in regards to rules, and obviously the plight of Chesterfield. That's really got me down as well in regards to football, and not really made me lose interest. So I've focused a lot on MMA, and I feel like I went to the top of football with Gary Neville for my age, and I went straight back down again. It's hard to top that. I feel like it was a good thing to happen, but at the same time it wasn't, because it's like it can't be topped. Everyone expects that sort of interview every sort of time. It's like that.
I know we spoke to Sam, obviously. Sam at college used to wind us up saying, did you know Charlie interviewed Gary Neville? And I'd be like, oh no, I didn't know. But he always what he said is, and I think it's true, is you did that at a young level, and I think you even admitted it. It's very hard to obviously do that and even come to sort of that level, that level. Because I know when you did John Sheridan and stuff, but when you compare John Sheridan and Gary Neville,
I actually never interviewed John Sheridan.
Oh well,
never interviewed him.
We love Martin Allen. He sort of made us. But Martin Allen and Gary Neville, that's sort of comparing, Real Madrid to Mansfield. It's sort of it's hard to top it, and I think you could say you peaked too early, sort of thing. But you're still young, and you still obviously you might get. No doubt you will.
You'll get future,
you'll get someone better or Gary Neville's quality. So.
I mean, it's hard also. It's hard not to get a big head over that. Do you know what I mean? At first, I'll be honest, I was walking around like the big fat head on me. Like, I've done this, I've done that. Putting it as my every profile picture on every social media interview.
Yeah.
It's hard. Obviously, got level-headed about that eventually. But that's what I like at MMA is covering the amateur scene in Chesterfield. There's so many fighters in Chesterfield and so many humble people where it's different because I know more about MMA than I do football. And it sounds weird, but you'll know anyway. We talk all the time about MMA and stuff. But I can have conversation with fighters because I'm talking about their fights. And it's interesting. So that's where I've found something good there in MMA in Chesterfield, where I feel like I know a lot of the fighters. Like Teddy Stringer, I've interviewed him 3 or 4 times, and we have good conversation on and off camera. So I'm enjoying that. But I'm also looking forward to get back into football because although I've not been interested in it the last few months, but it's a big avenue to go down in the journey as well, isn't it? Yeah,
I think like you said about MMA and football is. With football, it's going to sound weird, but sometimes it is quite repetitive. You pre-match interview, you've either won, lost, or drawn, and there's pretty much the same talking point in all of them games. Martin, you scored 3 goals stakes. You must be delighted with that. Someone's performance, but with MMA, there's so much to talk about. Like if Teddy, for example, gets better at his kicking in one fight, that's going to be a massive talking point.
Massively,
you then talk about his training camp. Why did he think kicking was the best way for that fight, sort of thing? And there's a lot of things you can talk about. And I think for you, it's natural because you know a lot about MMA. You do it yourself. You've done it for so many years. An interview you're not going to be nervous about because you know what you're going to be able to talk about. So, but obviously you yet to announce what's coming up. Obviously, I know, but it's going to be good for yourself to get back out there in the football world, and I think with what you're going to do, you'll know if women's football and obviously football journalism is the way for you. So
I mean that's what you actually opened my eyes to. Because at first I was all sitting of going to Derby College. My eyes like this: Derby College football journalism. And when you had that big bold move to Northampton Multimedia, going away to there, of a uni we didn't even talk about really. Northampton, it was an unknown quantity really. We didn't really discuss it, and it opened my eyes when you said it's about. One guy's got sport, one guy's got media, multimedia. They pick the multimedia guy every time. And I just felt like I had to get branch out. And obviously, I'm a big fan of MMA. It just made sense. And then now I feel like I've got more options than just football. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't be too fussed if I didn't get a football. I'd be more happy to get into boxing or MMA journalism. And I feel like it's a lot easier to get into because everyone wants to be a football journalist these days, don't they? And I feel like with you in the women's game is nobody's really looking at the women at the minute. People are, but like nobody's like everyone's focused on the men's side. And really, there's so many big avenues over the women's side. Like in your league, there's some big teams in your league. You know what I mean? And in the one I'm in, the same as that. You're going to be coming up against big teams and playing at stadiums like that, where the experience is invaluable, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously, talk about Northampton and multimedia journalism. Doing, like Sam said, Sam was the one who opened my eyes to it. He said, obviously, someone's got sports, someone's got multimedia. They're going to take someone who can do different avenues. And it's weird because I watch films where these investigative journalists, you know, and you know, this, I think Halloween and Woman in Black, where Daniel Radcliffe goes to an abandoned house in the middle of nowhere and it's haunted, and he has to investigate all the murders in the house. And I've took to stuff like that. Like, I think, obviously I like sport and stuff, but when something like that comes up, it makes my clogs twist, and I think I could actually do something like that. You know, obviously, I like my scary stuff, and it wouldn't be a bad thing if that's something I could go down, but it is important to get more experience, and obviously you've got the experience now in MMA, football, women's game. I don't want to say it's different to the men's, but it is in different aspects. But it's just all experience for us, and the thing we've got good for us is we've done it and started at a very young age. That's not a lot. Say. Like, I see these tweets about, Northampton Uni retweet students, and I have a little 10-15 minutes look at the profile, and they've only really started that at university. Yeah. We've got no real backlog about it and stuff, and that's where we sort of relish in that.
Yeah, I thought we started so young, we've got so much experience on that. I've been teaching like other people. Like, me and you've been like, at first it was me helping you out with stuff like that, and then obviously we gradually have been doing it to each other and stuff like that. And I feel like in the future I can actually see myself going into a role like Sam does, in teaching, because I find it so easy to teach it. It's not. I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's just because we're doing it so long. We just like it's about a good 3 years now we've been doing it, and we just know what to do. Do you know what I mean? There's like not really an aspect we don't know, but as you said in the investigative journalism thing, I had a similar situation with the Madeleine McCann thing come up a while ago, where I found bits and bobs, and I was in contact with a investigative journalist, got a show on Netflix, Mark Williams Thomas, and he discovered the things about Jimmy Savile. He's the one who exposed him. I was talking to him about it, and it's such an interesting avenue. Like, I know you said about it, it's such an interesting avenue to go into, and maybe I could do this, because I was so intrigued some of the things he was saying, and especially the Madeleine McCann case. That's a case that I've took a lot of interest in over the last years. I'm not sure about yourself, but that is definitely a route to go down as well. That's what I love about journalism. There's no limit to what you can do. Do you know what I mean? You can do anything.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously, like you said, you took to Madeleine McCann case, and I don't want to sound dark or sick, but I sort of take to, like family murders case and stuff like that. And it's like you go into the mind of the people who did it and sort of the houses that it happened in, and you're like, how can someone actually be capable of doing something like that? And the mind is a very, very dark place, and you could walk down the street and someone's plotting that thing. And I read a fun tweet actually the other day, and it said if you go out on average, you walk past 7 psychopaths a day.
Really?
Wow. And that is crazy. And it's like I said, the mind is just
makes you think,
massive hole in it. And that's something I liked. And obviously, I watched this thing on Netflix called Cold Case Files, which is based on, obviously, a cold cases where they never solve what actually happened. And I think it's 1% of files in America are actually cold case files. And these people go past it in about 30 years and go back to it, and they actually solve it. And it's just, weirdly, because when you're watching it, you think, how did he not catch him after seeing that? And it's just crazy. But obviously, time back then and now, they've got more resources now, and it's a lot easier to sort of catch things. But I wouldn't mind doing something like that. But at the same time, I think my head is in sport and things like that. But I'm open to different avenues and just see what happens in the future.
Yeah, I'm similar to you. I'm hoping to dip my toes in a few pies as such when it comes to on the different areas. I don't want to just stick to sport for the whole of my career, because I know I'll get bored of it eventually. I want to just dip my toes in each bit, just see what I like. You can be all set on one thing, and then one thing can just completely change your mind. But just a quick question on Northampton: are you doing the NCTJ there? Yeah.
It is in with it, yeah.
Yeah. So was there any consideration about going to Sheffield College for the extra year there, or?
Yeah, but at the same time, I think like with the Sheffield, because I obviously did a year at Chesterfield doing health and social. Cause like at the start, I always wanted to be a children's nurse, so I didn't think anything about that. So with the NCTJ, I would have had to pay for it. So sort of, for that 6 months, that price of that would be the same as a year at university. So sort of easier for me to obviously go to university and do that stuff.
Because I've got 3 options in mind when it comes to university. So at first I was all set on going to Derby, so that's pretty much out of the equation now. I'm not think I'm going to go there, but basically, stand open my eyes. The NCTJ is free to me, so. And it's only a short course as well, but there's a lot of work involved in it, like there's anything. But my thing, there's 3 options. So the first option is NCTJ, and then prepare to go to American University. I spoke to Nick Beale about it, because I didn't know the availability, so I looked into it as such. But he said that he's done it for students in the past, and they've got into them, American universities, and that's always been an aspiration of mine, to go over there and do a bit of journalism. So that's an option if we can get it done. But I need to look at the grading and stuff like that first. The second option would be go to a Northampton, multimedia, do what you're doing. Or the third option would be do the NCTJ, Sheffield, and go to a big university here, sort of say a Cambridge or a Leeds or something like that. But I definitely want to go to Sheffield University. I want to get out my area. I don't know if that's what you're thinking as well. I want to leave home. I just feel like leaving home is going to give me some more individual capabilities and just become a new person myself, you know what I mean? Not rely on other people.
Yeah. I think it betters you as an individual as well. If you can go out there and, you get. I'm in a very grateful situation because I've met some of the people I'm going to university with. We're in a big group chat and we speak every day. So, I'm in a grateful situation that I'm actually in that position, that I go to university and I've met people already, and I'm not going to go there and worry about meeting friends and stuff. But some people are going to have that. They're going to go to university and it's going to be new to everyone. And but if you can do that and conquer that and meet people and, be able to live on your own, or I'm going to live with 8 other people. But if you can actually do that, then it's going to better you as an individual. And weirdly, it's going to do your sort of survival and living skills as well. So
Can you cook in that? Are you quite a good cook, or? No, I can't cook for crap. So
I said to my mum I live on pasta and pot noodles every day.
Pot noodles. I probably do the same sort of thing. I realise you can't have takeaway every night as much as you want to. You can't go to Spoons every day. But just on that, I know we spoke on the last podcast sort of thing we did, where obviously it's going to be a sad goodbye. You're not going to see your Sheffield College mates again now, probably for a while, in all honesty. What's been some of the last conversations you've had with them, and just some of just some of the memories you've had at college? You want to go over them if you want?
Yeah. Well, the boys, I speak to Lewis, Matt and Ben pretty much every day. I go on Xbox with Ben quite a bit. Lewis, me and Lewis we'll I think we'll stay mates with everyone, but me and Lewis, we like that. We're just good mates. Like I said, I'll still come here and go out in Sheffield. But in terms of memories, for me, the main memory for me was obviously driving them to college and obviously taking them home, and just the music we'd have on in the car, and we'd have some real cringy Taylor Swift or Take That or something on, and you take a moment and it's like an out of body experience. Like you take a moment and you look around and you're all laughing with each other, and it's just like, I've really got it good. When you really think about it, it actually makes it quite emotional because you meet them people and you don't realise like how they're going to influence your life down the line. That we're going to be mates for the rest of our lives, and that for me, that was just the biggest memories. Sort of just driving, having the music on, and we're not obviously not going to have that anymore. But
obviously, you'll probably meet up in the future and stuff, and you'll be doing bits and bobs as you say you're speaking. But did you ever find yourself? Because you've done this before you went to Sheffield. Because I was a bit similar before I went to Sheffield, but I toned it down a little bit. Did you ever find yourself like trying to teach the people that you was with as well, trying to help them out and stuff, trying to give them teaching points? Things. I was like that, and I was like, I'll let Sam do the teaching because sometimes it can be perceived a bit disrespectful towards him. So it's easy to teach. Did you ever find yourself doing something like that, bits like that?
Yeah. Well, for me, it was more because of obviously what I had. Like I was in Inspire Media, Chesterfield Women at the time, and obviously Lewis works quite a bit with Sheffield Eagles rugby team, which is good for him. But Matt and Ben, when it comes to sort of placement and stuff, they really struggled with getting the motivation to do something. And like, I think Ben actually, when I look back at it, actually had really something good. He interviewed the chairman of, I don't know if it was Sheffield FC or might have been Hallam. And I thought, for a young age, chairman of that sort of football club.
Was it Richard Timms? Not Richard Timms. Steve Bradford.
Honestly, I cannot remember. It was one of them two clubs, but I sort of tried to get him out there, and I asked Matt if he wanted to do stuff with Chesterfield Women, and obviously at the time it was sort of quite a travel and a commitment for him. But that's going to be sort of thing I found myself helping them out with, but but that was only because of what we had. I was in that position to sort of do something, and
I found myself also as well because about Chesterfield. I found myself because I'll be honest with people now who listen to this. Spy Me really isn't happening at the minute. It's I'm taking a sort of individual. It's you're doing this pretty similar, aren't you? You're like, although we're still in it as such, it's like we're taking time for ourselves in this now. We've got to be selfish and think about our own careers, aren't we? Do you know what I mean? And I found myself this last year thinking of more of the people that was actually in it as than myself. And before I knew it, I was like, I've only been in press box once, and everyone else has been in it loads. And I'm like, what's going off here? So I changed it up and I started going in, but that's why I've taken a bit of a back step from it. It's just time just to focus on myself. That's what I started doing with college as well. I started like taking them to the press box and stuff, and it's like, what am I doing? I'm sitting in the stand and not even doing journalism when I should be doing. So I found myself doing that. But like you say, you do it, and for them it's like good achievements like that. For Hallam, it's satisfying to see your mates doing well, stuff like that. So it's always good at college. But we'll move on from that, and we'll talk a little bit about MMA because obviously me and you always texting different bets and stuff. Shall we put this on? Shall we put that on? What are your thoughts on the upcoming event on Saturday?
Mate, I'm honestly buzzing.
Gabriel stepped up big time, hasn't he? I'm absolutely delighted.
It seems surreal, mate. Honestly, I can't just.
I was so excited, mate. I was like,
that montage video that Dana White put out. Honestly, I showed my dad, and even he were up ready. I think he wanted to jump in ring as well. Like, Jesus, I was like, but I'm no doubt we'll probably ring and we'll stick on a couple of bets for that. But I honestly can't wait for that.
It's
going to be unbelievable.
It's just the cards Dana have been pulling out. He has been absolutely smashing it. The fights he's been putting on. I mean, he put the odd dodgy card on, but apart from that, the card he's been putting on has been unreal. I just can't wait for every single fight on the fight. It's unreal as well. Like there's going to be some serious money made at this time, I reckon. I know we always say that, like, we'll make money for this week. We've been close a few times. We've been very unlucky, I would say, with some of the bets we put on.
Yeah, I mean, you always say, you always do it with whatever you do. Like, trust me, put it on. He puts it on, doesn't even come close. He's like, first round knockout, goes to decision. But it was weird, like, obviously. But the thing is, when you actually say something and they don't put it on, it comes through. So you said Poirier would win by decision, and I think that was 8-1 at the time for him to win by decision.
Yeah, I didn't do it.
5 on that, you met money, and obviously at the time it was like, someone's going to get knocked out in that. But It's sort of. I think it's with everything. Like on Twitter, I see like footy accumulators, and they put like an 80-1, bet that they've made, and it's like well bet to score, Lacazette to get booked or something like that. And I'm like, that'll never come in. Comes in off, an hour and a half later, and you're like, why do I not do that? But
because they put it so high, they make it like it's unbelievable, don't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I think about it.
I don't know what I'm going to put on this weekend. Like I said, my student account set up, and I've got quite a hefty overdraft in that. So, but yeah, I can't.
Steady on. But yeah, there's some interesting fights to put on. Like, I think me and you, I know we're kind of serious. We're more fun betters. You know what I mean? We put like a lot of 5 fight accumulators on and stuff, and the returns from that, if they ever come in, they'll be massive. So I feel like the money we have lost, we're doing it back loads straight away if we won some of these accumulators. But for me, I'm looking to put on a accumulator for all 4 cards. So say Joseph Benavides to win, you got Masvidal to win, Dawson to win, Qatar to win, until to win. Yeah. So and if the more you put on the confident fight, I feel like the more returns you're gonna get as well.
Yeah, that's 100%. I think like when I sent that accumulator for this card, I like backed all the favourites.
Yeah.
But sort of when you said I go down the fighters I trust, I think if you do that, that's when sort of you can open your eyes and a bit more money comes out. So if I put a fighters I trust on the card on Saturday, would go up like Masvidal to win. I still think Max Holloway won't win, but Volkanovski will beat him. And
it was pretty dominant the first fight. I don't think.
I've got a feeling like Aldo could maybe knock out.
Set him,
I
think with the Aldo fight, I think it'll be very competitive early, and I think Jan will fade, piece him up towards the end. I think Aldo will fade. He tends to fade towards the end. That's the only weakness we've really seen in the early days of Aldo. I think in the Holloway fight, I think you'll see a similar sort of fight. I could actually see Volkanovski knocking him out.
Right.
Maybe not a knockout, but a TKO, I definitely could see.
Yeah.
I just feel like he's really pissed off that the respect he's been given. I think he wants to prove a point. And I think with the last fight, I mean, me and you think Masvidal's going to win, don't you?
Well, I mean, I want him to. I'm not sure. I don't think he will.
That's what I'm like. I'm like, the fight I want to win, and then the fight I think I'll win. The fight I do want to win is Masvidal. Don't get me wrong. I think he could win, but Usman's on a different level at the minute. Like, and I could actually just see Usman standing with him and knocking him out on the feet. Usman's a big guy, like a big guy. I think you're going to see that when he gets in the cage with Masvidal, how big he actually is compared to Masvidal. But Masvidal's been training, everyone thinks he's been come off the couch. He's been training with wrestlers for like a good 2 months. So we'll see what it's like. It's how I see it playing out. First 2 rounds is Masvidal's best chances, I feel like. I feel like Usman just gets better as the fight goes on. Have you seen the Colby Covington fight? I feel
has Usman been like rocked before?
He was rocked a couple of times against Colby, but not massively. Like he gets a bit flustered. I'm trying to think. No, not really. Before that, he doesn't like getting hit. Obviously, no one likes getting hit. You can tell he doesn't like getting hit, but he's been standing his last few bouts. He's been actually standing with his opponents. So I could actually see him just standing and slinging it with him. He outstrike Woodley, in fairness. You would if they're just standing there in the middle going at it, and Masvidal catches him. I tell you what, there should be a bet on there of Masvidal throwing something very stupid early on, just like a jumping kick or something like that.
First 10 seconds with that knee.
Exactly. He faked it in the third fight when he faked throwing the flying knee. Yeah. And in the first fight against Till, he threw that jumping kick to his groin area, took him out there, and then took Ben Askren's soul. Took Ben Askren's soul. What like that? What I call him? Yeah. So give me a final prediction on that one. I know it's a tough one to call.
I know Masvidal's only been KO'd early on in his career, hasn't he? While he's in MMA, he hasn't. So, I don't know if he's not really come up against someone like Usman with his power and stuff. But I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna go Masvidal, second round TKO.
Right, I'm gonna go with. I say what I'm going to bet and what I'm going to say is different. I'm going for Masvidal. Masvidal KO first round.
Yeah.
I think he's going to come out. I think he's going to come out of the gate swinging. I think he's going to come out there, just take his head off, I think he's going to come out there and hurt him. He doesn't like him. What I'm going to bet is completely different.
£100 on Masvidal to win it.
I put this swing towards an Usman decision on betting. Just about MMA and boxing. Obviously, you there was talks of you doing a boxing match.
Yeah.
Early on in the year. Where are you with that? Because I know when we last spoke, you said it could happen, but you're not sure yet.
Well, obviously, it wouldn't have happened because of this situation.
Yeah.
And I think the reason it maybe wouldn't have happened if it was still on is because sort of the trainers there were sort of quite two-faced and quite...
At Ultra?
Pardon?
At Ultra Boxing?
Well, white collar boxing, whatever it were, yeah. Because obviously I was training quite a lot with you and at home, you know, I obviously might not told you, I was doing quite a lot with punching bag in the garden. I was doing quite a lot of running and stuff. And it was sort of, at the time I was at college as well. And when they trained, it was obviously, I'd have had to go straight out of college to there. And I said, look, I am doing it at home. I've got a trainer with me and stuff. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. But then it was sort of, Jordan and always be like saying to you that they've said, you know, he's not turned up again and it's stuff. And I was like, why would they say that when, to me on Messenger, when I've rung them, they'd be like, yeah, it's fine. And that was like pretty much every single trainer there. So I don't know, but I'm doing quite a lot. I know it's maybe a lot down and boredom, but I'm still on the punch bag in the garden and doing stuff like that. And myself, I feel really, really physically fit. I feel like at a minute, if someone said, do you want to go into a ring tomorrow? I think I'd be able to do it.
Yeah. I mean,
you know,
here's what I'm at with you. I feel like you need to work on your movement a little bit more. I'm not sure, because when we was last working, you was a bit stiff on the feet, weren't you? A bit tangled. I mean, you've got very good punches on you. It's just your movement gets you out of the way of things. And I was a bit disappointed when obviously it didn't happen. We didn't materialise that ultra boxing thing. But I just wanted to mention, you mentioned his name. Personal things aside, professionally, he's only said one fight he lost. Jordan, would you like that fight? Professionally.
Well, I've said to you all the time, like, I wouldn't mind like sparring him and stuff, but if we went to a white collar boxing, the chances of me getting Jordan for that fight are very unlikely. Like, I know he is taller than me and stuff, and obviously age they will put that into it. But I've said to you, I've said to anyone, I will spar like anyone if I'm fighting towards something.
Yeah.
Put me in a ring with whoever, and I'll do it. You know, at the end of the day, it's experience for me.
Yeah.
And you know, you're gonna learn different people's styles. You know, let's for example say Jordan might not have knockout power, but you put me in a ring with someone who's done white collar boxing. You know, he's maybe a 40-year-old old bloke.
Yeah.
Knockout power in every single, maybe in his jab. I'm gonna learn to be able to take a punch. One thing you said it to me is, you were surprised how I could take a punch. You know, you hit me with some really good.
Yeah, you've got a toughness in there. Yeah, you didn't fight for it.
Didn't fluster. You know, it was sort of body shots, and I think obviously the asthma and
very good at body shots.
My cardio was bad then, so that's obviously maybe
worked on. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm happy to do that. Yeah.
You're happy to have that fight with him at some point. If presented to you, yeah. I could see that happening. I think it'd be a good one. That's for Chesterfield as well. So, all honesty, before you go to uni, can you see you having a boxing fight?
Before university, I wouldn't say so because I don't know what sort of their things are. But like I said to you, university do stuff for amateur boxing, and I know they do. Obviously, at Sheffield University versus the other university when they do them 2 unis thing. There is I don't know if it's Coventry or Milton Keynes that they would do a fight between. So who knows? I might step up to that and fight on the bigger stage with that, because I know they do perform in some good venues with
obviously,
that.
Obviously, there's going to be some gyms around that area as well. Of course, there's going to be boxing gyms.
The gym at university, I know it's similar to the one we do at Chesterfield.
Is there? Is a gym at university? That's brilliant. That's a really good tool for you to use.
And like I said, I think when I go to university, I think honestly, I'll be. I don't want to bring myself up, but I think I will be a different animal. I think
ready.
In terms of fitness and going, I'm going to be a fitness fanatic. I think when you come up for a fight or I come back down, I think, my arms aren't going to be the sort of stick man I am anymore, or my legs. I think I'm going to shock quite a few people in
Get
my
in
family.
shape, yeah.
I am going to really try and knuckle down and get into shape. And I think, I say this to my mum at home, I'm saying, go out and get me these things and stuff. But I think in a home environment, I think it's difficult because it is quite difficult to get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
It sounds, it is like, but I think with university, I've got an early lecture. I'm going to get up, go to the lecture, smash out the.
And you could head straight to the boxing gym.
Yeah, exactly.
That's-
I think that's the luxury with it. It's not like I've got to drive in the car 20 minutes. It's like a 4 or 5 minute walk, maybe not even that.
Yeah.
It's literally in a touching distance for me. So, and then it's just down to me then. I think, but promise you, I said to my family, I think by the time I come back or Christmas time, I think I'll have, shot quite a few people.
Yeah, I mean, I over this lockdown period, I took the chance not to work on any abs or anything like that, or muscles, anything muscle mass. I've just worked on the cardiovascular system, so running and biking. As you've seen through Strava and stuff, I've done quite a bit of that. For where I'm at with it all is, I'm not sure if I'll get a fight in before I go to university. It won't be boxing; it will be MMA. I'm not too sure, in fairness. I know I'm nowhere near ready now, but I hope to think that next year I should be in near a spot where I'm thinking about it. If not, there'll be gyms down where I'm going, so I'll look at it like that. But I think you'll definitely step in there at some point. Even not if this year or next year, you'll be in there at some point. And same with me and Nottingham. I should do it. I should do it at one point. But yeah, we'll conclude this anyway, Jack. Very good to talk to you again. We'll do a bit of a catch up again in a couple of weeks, and we'll discuss what's been going on. I should be able to reveal what's next. I can reveal that I'm also working with Clay Cross a little bit as well. Got a few of the Spy Media members doing that as well with me. So, but yeah, the big news will be out in the next coming weeks. So keep your eyes peeled for social media, and also anything you want to promote for Jack coming for you next.
Boom. No, we can't think. Just obviously content I put out with Long Eaton and interviews and articles. Just give them a read and retweet, and yeah.
You'll be doing your thing. You'll be doing your thing across social media and with your journals and stuff. So keep your eyes peeled for Jack as well as me. Jack Dooley on Twitter. Jack Dooley 1 on Twitter, innit?
It is.
One is Spire for me, and obviously we've got our Facebook accounts as well. So check us out on there. So yeah, that's been the podcast. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate it.
Thank you.